Happy Sunday, everyone. David Schonecker, licensed PE with the Avanti Group. If you guys don't know me, I'm a professional engineer, structural engineer, architectural and structural engineer out of Tampa, Florida. I design red iron barndominiums, among other things. And here to give you a little State of the Union, which I do monthly or so. Maybe I haven't done it in a month because of the hurricanes, Helene and Milton. We've been busy. A lot going on, but yeah, Barndo world hasn't let loose at all. You know, we still got a lot of them going on. Very overwhelmed, honestly, design-wise, build-wise, etc. So let me give you a little State of the Union as it relates to the Barndo world, right? Nothing much has changed. You know, Avanti Group's designing on average one a week right now. We got a backlog of some more complicated projects that are giving me fits, and I'm definitely working hard to work through those. We got some very simple ones that are going out pretty steadily. We have a lot of under construction. We have over 30, we think, under construction all throughout Florida. Not all by, contractors in my network necessarily. There are owner builders, there's other contractors, there's all sorts of scenarios happening, right? A lot of good stuff though, man. Just like 2024, we're probably going to complete over 20 something, I guess, barndominiums that we've seen. And people are going to live in them, like Dave and Nicole, myself, and Chitty Barndo in Plant City. And every time we do that, we close one, we finish it, and the owner lives in it. It's a really beautiful moment. We turn the page on substantiating, is red iron barndominium a unique opportunity for a living situation in Florida? The answer is always yes, with consideration of price, location, and what you want it to use for. But yeah, so that's that, right? What else do I want to talk about? Permitting, we're going to have some complications and some timing issues as it relates to that a little bit. Because of the hurricanes in the areas, but obviously most of our barndominiums are not on the coastline, so we don't really anticipate a lot of crossover with that personally. Our hotbeds continue to be like Dade City, Zephyr Hills, Plant City. Plant City's insane. We got 7 under construction, Plant City alone right now, which is an amazing thing. That's why I moved there. I kind of saw the writing on the wall. I decided to move there with my wife and build Chitty barndominium on a corner so that everyone could see it always and understand that I obviously live in what I preach, basically. We survived Hurricane Milton. I reported on that. You guys can go look at those videos just fine. I checked in with most of our barndominium owners. We only had very little insignificant reported damage, like a light fell off a building. There was a couple minor leaks on one that was under construction that we're troubleshooting right now and making sure are resolved. Besides that, everyone performed well. We had what we think were up to 120 mile-an-hour winds on our ones down in Bradenton, and 100 mile-an-hour winds in Plant City where I live. So driven rain, flooding all around, trees dumping next to buildings, you name it, we had it, man. Like, it was raining frogs at my house in Plant City. It was insane. So yeah, they did well though, so I'm proud of that. I didn't have any doubt, to be honest with you. I mean, I live and breathe this stuff and designing metal buildings for a long time. I'm super confident in what they do here, and they did as expected. Modern metal buildings and modern structures should do well as expected, right? What's new for Avanti Group? Well, we did release last month or the month before that, subtly, a great new website that has all of our current plans on there for sale and for a better look. Not everyone's gonna need to buy a random set of plans for no good reason. Most of our families obviously come into a custom design, but we just want that to be available to you. We wanted to take the 60 something that we have published currently and put them on there for you. And then we have, what's new is we got a lot of big ones, we got a lot of small ones, we got a lot of ADU sized, like that 600 to 1200 square foot size. We finally released a lot of that, and that's being put out on our Avanti Group Facebook by our admin, and those are really cool things. They're very popular right now for a lot of reasons, right? Adding generational, family members to your property, or just being cost conscious, just building the smallest home you could possibly build on a piece of property right now. So we're supporting you in that, no problem, right? Talk a little bit about pricing. Not much has changed. We're able to get competitive pricing right now. As I've always stated, On the smaller builds, you're not saving a ton of money by any means. Building a Barndo, a small house, is a very expensive house, no matter how you cut it, because all the fees are the same and all the design costs and septic and well and kitchens and baths, etc., don't change. We are finding still in our larger family barndominiums, whether it's a larger home and a larger shop, we're obviously being super competitive relative to block construction all day long, right? Two buildings. Everyone's still, wanting to know, can you use these carport tube buildings? Some of the more modern tube buildings that were enclosed appear to perform well in some of the storm events just recently. I will say, as always, I highly don't recommend you living in a pole barn or a carport building personally. I definitely don't recommend, if you build one for your house, that you stay there during a high-end hurricane event. They tend to explode and go somewhere else and end up in the trees somewhere else, etc. And why is that? It's a long story. Not every job's perfect. People make mistakes, but carports, tube buildings, don't have a lot of safety factor, basically, and they don't perform well all the time in high wind events. Just the fact, right? All right, so that's it on that. I want to talk about Avanti Group, who we are, just to clarify for everyone again. I'm a design engineer. I'm an architectural and structural engineer. I'm here to support you in your permit plans, your site due diligence, educational topics. I am doing the best I can to continue to educate families, contractors, subcontractors on what we do, how we build our red iron barndominiums to be Florida code compliant, how we focus on best practices to make sure that we're installing our windows and doors and trim, the best way possible to fight, wind-driven rain and all the other elements that Florida brings. A reminder that Avanti Group, my company, is not a builder. We did build Chitty, my own barndominium. I built it, basically, I managed it, but that doesn't mean we're a builder. We're not a licensed general contractor. We try to support the contractors that are in our network, that are in our tight group. JTC Consulting Services, one, JPB, John Brown, Tortuga Services, my son, Derek, and there's quite a few others, to be honest with you, that are in our kind of purvey. EC Building Solutions out of Spring Hill, you name it. All these guys are companies that are, using us for design, but we are not financially involved, right? I'm not a licensed contractor. I do build things for myself. I do consult for a lot of people on higher level construction project management. You do see me on a lot of job sites for John Brown and or John Cook, because I am still, fighting hard 6 years later to improve our design efforts and our best practices, and making sure that our contractors are building it as efficient as possible, with as little labor as possible and as timely as possible, right? I think I'm rambling on a little bit too much, so I'll pause for now and do some other topics later. But that's the State of the Union. Avanti Group's here to support you. Myself, Jamila, our interior designer, Laura, our CAD staff, Sandy, our intake for all that stuff. If you guys need any help as it relates to a new barndominium in Florida, we're excited to help you guys. God bless.